What is up, guys? It is Kodi. Today we're going to be going over the Magicka Sorcerer build. Before I start this video, I just wanted to say shout out to my friend Jules. She did help come up with the sets for this build, so she will be in the description below. So let's first go over the sets we are running. We have the popular Infernal Guardian 2-piece. It's a 1-piece max Magicka and a 2-piece. When you use a damage shield ability, you have a 50% chance to allow 3 mortars over 2 seconds at the furthest enemy from you that deal 6,900 flame damage to all enemies within 5 meters of the blast area, and the cooldown is 6 seconds. I would prefer this 2-piece to have it proc on the closest enemy, but I do find this to be really helpful at times when I'm in solo PvP. It helps. Sometimes it doesn't, but if you don't like this setup with the 2 Infernal Guardian just because you don't think it works that very well, you can wear 2 1-piece max Magicka sets. So basically your shields will be a little bit bigger and you'll have a bigger Magicka pool. You'll have about 41k. The shields isn't going to be like... You could also run like 1 Kina and 1 Infernal Guardian to get a spell damage instead to have more damage. But for this build we're going to run Infernal Guardian. Some alternatives are Engine Guardian. Engine Guardian still is a great set. The stamina procs and magic procs are awesome. Yeah, there's a lot of flexibility with this build since you have you're running monster sets. You can play around with them. I played around with like Ice Heart. I played around with Pirate Skeleton set and Engine Guardian. They're all great, so you can choose to your own desire. We have 5 spinners, 4 pieces of the armor, and the Destro Staff. Inferno sharpened is the best way to go. This may be a little expensive, but you can farm it, and I will put that in the description below where to farm the spinner set. And also we're running the Lich, so if you have the Lich set from your Templar builds, then you should be good. So we're still running the jewelry, the rest of the staff, and 1 piece of armor. So you can pretty much flex where your Lich spot is, because Lich comes in like all pieces. For instance, I could wear the sash and just wear the spinner boots, but we just put these on. I run all spell damage, and I try to get all impen, guys. I know you may be asking, like, why are you running impen? You're a Sork, and shields can't crit. Well, that is very true, but when your shields aren't up, either if you forgot to put them up or they get instant gifted by proc sets, then the only defense left is your health, and your impen's gonna help with that, believe it or not. Because you're a sorcerer, you're running light armor, you're gonna be really squishy when your shields aren't up, and that impen really does help, and all you have is your health left. The rest of staff, try to get defending. If you don't have defending, it's okay. I had like a powered one before, but this is the best and ideal trait for Magicka Sorcerer. It's gonna help you yet again when you don't have shields up. The defending will kick in. I run the increased weapon damage and spell damage glyph for my Inferno Staff. I really like that. It procs a lot. For this, you can run either poisons or just stick with this enchant. I find this to be actually really good sometimes. I'll switch my Resto and get them with like 2k plus the light attack, so like 3k. It's pretty good. Yeah, that's pretty much it. So like when you're making a Magicka build, for instance, as you guys like noticed in my last video and this video, I always try to combine a sustain set with a damage set, and then try to wear like an Adornment set if you wanted to, because the Adornment sets are great since they have 1 pieces on them. Spinners is my damage and my Lich is my sustain set, obviously. Let's go for the character sheet real quick. We got 64 in the max Magicka. You can peep the stats real quick. We are running 6 light, 1 medium. I wish I could run 511 to get more stats, so you should be looking at 40k max Magicka if you were running 511. Spell damage is 2634. Spell crit is amazing, and our Magicka gen is meh. It's okay to run this Magicka recovery when you're running Lich. Running Lich enables you to literally drop your Ancient Akmunda Stone. I went for the Thief. I love Thief Stone because it gives you more crit, and when you like you guys know, when you crit, you hit a lot harder than a base attack. I was at 32.9 before, and I had the option to go either Shadow, Thief, Apprentice, Mage, and I like the Thief. If I can crit more, I can get burst off a lot easier. It takes less time, because if all my stuff crits and it lines up properly, then they're most likely going to die. 2634, I'm pretty sure I have like 2500. We do have like a buff in the Cyrodiil campaign, so we're about 2500. Our regen's the same, and this is our impen with 7 impen, and our resistances on our back bar do change because of defending. And we're also M, so you should have like about 20k. So for the skills, we have Power Surge. A lot of you guys may wonder why I don't run Entropy. They're both great. This just lasts like more than twice as Entropy does. This is 14.4 seconds. This is Power Surge 33. So this does last longer. You don't need anyone to apply it on. You can apply it's self-applied. Entropy, you have to apply it on someone. They're both great. You guys may like this better because you can empower your frags or something like that. Like Entropy real quick, then shoot a frag. But I just like Power Surge. I also like the dealing a critical strike heals you for 36t health. I like that as well. And you also will be getting more damage just because every Sorc skill slot, it gives you 2% spell damage. So yeah. Crystal Frags, this is an obvious one. You're going to line this up with your Velocious Curse to burst someone. We have a 15,000 tooltip on it when procced. So that's great damage. Crushing Shock, what you're going to be weaving in through until you can proc your frag. Curse, this should be like the first thing applied to the enemy every time you engage. You should be lining up a Curse, Crushing Shocking at least 1 to 2 times, and then shooting the frag, lining up the frag with the Curse, and followed up by an Execute. There's also many other ways to burst. You also have Dawnbreaker of Smiting, which is ultimate we are using. Great to add for that burst. You could also put Execute before you burst the enemy. As you know, the Sorc Execute lasts for 4 seconds. So if you can get them below 20% within that 4 seconds, they're going to go bye-bye. So you could put an Endless Fury on first, shoot a frag, then Dawnbreaker, and they will instantly melt if they drop below 20. I will have a tips and pointers video, by the way, in my next vid, but I just wanted to squeeze that in there. Harness Magicka. I suggest going this morph. Our Magicka Sustain is pretty much like perfect. You can run out of max Magicka if you aren't smart, but with Lich and Harness, it's like perfect sustain. If you were going to go HO, for instance, instead of the Thief Stone, you can drop Harness or Dampen, so that's a choice. Daedric Minefield. Everyone is pretty much a melee build in PvP. Well, most of them at least. And this can either have them get the fuck off of you because they don't want to touch these mines. They do a lot of damage. Or help you burst, because when you get close into one of these mines, they can hit really hard. And you can also line that up with a Curse or Frag, Dawnbreaker, and Execute. So I really like those mines. Do not spam the mines. They do cost a lot of max Magicka, so keep that in mind. Shriek, obviously our mobility tool. Make sure not to shriek more than like 3 times if you're just regularly fighting, because as you know, shriek stacks, and your 3rd shriek is going to cost like 5k. Your 4th shriek is going to cost 7k. It'll just keep adding up. We have we have Hardened Ward, our 2nd shield, because we are a Sorc, we are shield stacking for our main defense. You want to make sure you stack the bigger shield first, then the smaller shield. So it should always be Hardened, then Harness. And then we have Healing Word when we drop low health, and we need that big shield and the health when we get that back. And then Energy Overload. You could run HO here or Meteor. I stick with this. If I ever see that I'm out of Magicka, I can have Magicka gained back this way from light attacks. This bar isn't ideal yet. We don't need Healing Word, obviously, because that's a resto skill. We want to put Inner Light here, and I just have some Sorc skills in here. I like the Boundless Storm. Whenever I'm running away, I can pretty much get away a lot quicker. I don't really use Liquid Lightning, but it's pretty much just like a flex bar, so you can do whatever you want with that bar. But I do recommend running at least Boundless Storm and a shield. So that is for the bars. We do run tripods. Try connecting your tripods with your Lich proc, because the 20% Magicka recovery from the pod does help a lot. So we're running Purple Food as well. Let's go into the CP. We're running 100 into Magician, 48 into Arcanist, 39 into Tumbling, 87 to Elfborn, 100 into Elemental Expert, 25 into Resistant, 31 into Hardy and Elemental Defender, and 100 into Bastion. That CP setup is pretty much perfect for Magicka's work. Even without this build, you should probably have it somewhere around there. that's pretty much it, guys. I hope you enjoyed. This build is awesome, and I have a bunch of clips that I need to upload still, so that will be coming up soon. Anyways, please check me out on Twitch if you haven't already. I'll put that in the description below, twitch.tv/KodiPvP. And I will be seeing you guys later. Peace out.